The tension inside the Golden State Warriors camp has been building for months, and now, Draymond Green has made sure that everyone knows exactly where he stands. What he just said about Jonathan Kuminga has sent shockwaves across the NBA world. It wasn't some random offhand comment. This was intentional, passionate, and very, very telling about the current state of the Warriors locker room. If you've been following the Warriors lately, you know things haven't exactly been smooth sailing. Between trade rumors, shifting lineups, and questions about the team's identity, it's clear that something deeper has been brewing beneath the surface. But what Draymond Green just said might be the clearest window yet into how that locker room really feels. Draymond is never shy when it comes to speaking his mind. He's known for saying exactly what he thinks, even if it ruffles a few feathers. And this time, his message was crystal clear. Jonathan Kuminga isn't just another young player finding his way. He's the key to the Warriors' future. Draymond called out everyone, teammates, media, and even the organization, to start treating Kuminga like the player he's becoming, not the player he was last year. For a veteran like Draymond, that's a huge statement. And it's not just about praise, it's about responsibility. Kuminga's journey with the Warriors has been filled with ups and downs. When he was drafted, everyone saw flashes of a future star: the athleticism, the power, the confidence. But the consistency wasn't always there, and with a team built around Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, there hasn't always been room for patience. Young players on championship-caliber teams rarely get the same leeway others do. Every minute matters. Every possession is under a microscope. Kuminga's had to learn that the hard way. But this season, things are changing. Kuminga's no longer that kid trying to find his role. He's playing with more confidence, attacking the rim with authority, and showing that he can be a two-way force. The numbers are improving, but more importantly, the mindset is different. And Draymond sees it. During a recent team session, Draymond reportedly stood up and made it clear the Warriors can't win without fully embracing their young talent. He said Kuminga has earned his respect, and it's time for everyone else to start giving him the same. Those kinds of words carry serious weight in the Warriors' locker room. This wasn't just about boosting a young player's confidence. This was about leadership. Draymond knows the Warriors are at a crossroads. Their dynasty years are behind them, but that doesn't mean they're done. It means they have to evolve. He sees Kuminga as part of that evolution, a bridge between the past and the future. For Draymond to publicly and privately back Kuminga like that shows he understands what's at stake. The team can't afford internal division. They can't afford to let egos or favoritism decide minutes. You could feel the shift after Draymond's comments. Players who might have been skeptical of Kuminga started acknowledging his work ethic more openly. Coaches took note too. Steve Kerr, who's always been careful about how he handles young players, started trusting Kuminga in critical moments more often. That trust doesn't happen overnight. It's built through battles and practice, through showing up every day, through listening and growing. And now, thanks in part to Draymond's push, Kuminga's finally being allowed to show what he can really do. What makes this whole situation even more interesting is how it reflects Draymond's own evolution. A few years ago, he might not have said something like this. Back then, Draymond was the emotional core of a team stacked with stars. But as he's gotten older, he's become more of a mentor, sometimes tough, sometimes raw, but always honest. He knows that for the Warriors to have any shot at staying relevant, the next generation needs to be ready now. And if Draymond Green is the one defending and encouraging you, that means something. There's another layer here too. The chemistry between Draymond and Kuminga hasn't always been perfect. Remember the reports last season about tension between them? There were moments when it looked like frustration was building. Draymond, the fiery veteran demanding perfection, and Kuminga, the rising star still figuring it out. It was bound to clash. But what's impressive is how both seem to have grown from it. Instead of letting that tension tear them apart, they've used it to fuel their connection. Now they communicate more, they hold each other accountable, and they share a mutual respect that's visible on the court. Draymond even mentioned that he's been spending extra time working with Kuminga on defensive rotations, on how to anticipate plays, on how to talk during switches, the little things that separate good players from great ones. That's not something he has to do. That's something he wants to do. And it's a clear sign that he believes in Kuminga's future. For someone like Draymond, who's built his career on effort and basketball IQ rather than raw talent, seeing Kuminga develop both sides of his game is something worth investing in. There's a lot of talk about whether this could be the last ride for the Warriors core. Klay Thompson's future is uncertain, Steph is still elite but getting older, and Draymond himself has been through suspensions and controversies that could have derailed his career. But this moment his defense of Kuminga shows that Draymond isn't just focused on the past, or even the present. He's thinking about the legacy. He doesn't want the Warriors to fall apart once the dynasty ends, he wants to leave it in good hands. And in his mind, Kuminga might just be those hands. NBA insiders have taken notice too. Analysts are calling Draymond's comments one of the most important locker room moments of the year for the Warriors. Because when a veteran leader like Draymond puts his full support behind a young player, it changes everything. It changes the way teammates view him. It changes how the media covers him. It even changes how coaches plan around him. It's the kind of endorsement that can transform a career. The impact has already started to show in the way Kuminga plays. You can see the confidence every time he attacks the rim or steps into a mid-range jumper. He's no longer hesitating or second-guessing his role. He's taking ownership. And that's exactly what the Warriors need, someone who isn't afraid to carry the torch when the time comes. Draymond's words were a spark, but Kuminga's performance is the fire that's keeping this team alive. Behind closed doors, sources close to the team say Draymond has become one of Kuminga's biggest supporters. He's pushing the coaching staff to give him more minutes, telling them that the only way to unlock his full potential is to let him play through mistakes. That's classic Draymond, direct, bold, and unfiltered. He doesn't care about politics or media narratives. He cares about winning. And he sees Kuminga as part of that formula. What's fascinating is how this dynamic mirrors the early Warriors' years. Back then, veterans like Andre Iguodala and David Lee had to make space for the younger stars Curry, Klay, and Draymond himself. Now, the roles are reversed. The veterans are learning how to mentor without smothering, and the young players are learning how to lead without disrespecting. It's a delicate balance, but it's what keeps dynasties from collapsing. Draymond's message wasn't just about basketball either. It was about maturity, accountability, and identity. He told the team that everyone has to redefine what being a Warrior means now. It's not just about living in the shadow of championships. It's about building the next chapter. And if Jonathan Kuminga can embody that mindset, then maybe, just maybe, this team has more left in the tank than anyone thinks. Fans have noticed the chemistry too. During recent games, you can see moments of genuine connection, Draymond clapping for Kuminga after a defensive stop, or calling out plays that put him in a better position. Those are small moments, but they speak volumes about how far they've come. This isn't just veteran to rookie anymore. This is teammate to teammate respect. Even Steph Curry has acknowledged the shift, saying how proud he is of how Kuminga stepped up and how Draymond has been there every step of the way. That kind of validation from the franchise cornerstone only strengthens the message. The entire team seems to understand now this isn't a side story anymore. Kuminga's growth is central to whatever the Warriors become next.